Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes at Novak Properties with myself, Michael Bergio, and Mark Novak as well. I'll be bringing Mark Novak into the live, and we'll be talking today about animal mutation and what the hell. So, yeah, Mac, good morning. Mark, good morning. Luke Moroney, hope you're well. Okay, adding Mark in. Oi, he's got the vest on. He's got the vest.
Yeah, the vest is out. The vest is out.
Luke said, what the fuck? I reckon that's probably towards the heading. Animal mutation. I think, what do you mean by that, Mark? Talk us through it.
Oh, look, it's all about pets. What the hell happened to pets? Like, where have we gone with pets? And it's a changed world, and we forget because it's happened slowly and gradually. But 20, 30 years ago, growing up, there was a Doberman, there was a German.
So what were animals pretty typically back in the day?
German Shepherd, Golden Retriever. And then there was these mean dogs called pit bulls.
That was it.
That was it. Now, if you wanted a pet, it was like, good luck. Oh, and there was maybe a poodle.
And more house living, though.
So it was a
big
puffy
blocks,
pet.
house living.
Yeah. Puffy pet, was the minority, and then big bad dogs was the rest of them. And so no one had pets. No one. And now, as, we manage 3,000 landlords and tenants, and there's all this pet talk, and it's like, where the hell did all this come from? There was something in the news this morning about King's Cross. This massive building had a no pet policy, a pretty military policy, just got overturned. And it's like, what's all this chatter about?
And also, I think where we're going with the animal mutation is half the tenants are describing their pets, and you're just like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, it's this mixed with that, mixed with this, equals very quiet small dog. And you're like, just send us a photo. Just send us a photo. Send us a video of the animal. I don't get it. Like, as you said, typically...
we'll send it. We'll send it to the
landlord, because if I name those 15 names of mixed breeds, they're not going to get it either. So I think to put it as an analogy, technology's evolved and adapted to fit our lifestyles and what we need. And I think in a way, so have our sort of pet selection or pet creation of what people breed with, maybe not knowingly or subconsciously, but what were some of the drawbacks people used to have with animals? They were big, they were loud, they were noisy, they were aggressive, they smell.
They stunk. They stunk. The pet used to stink. Now, to have a pet that doesn't stink, it's possible. And now, to have a pet that doesn't shed hair, on a breed that sheds hair, well, that's possible. We mix it with this pet and that pet, and then we have virtually the same pet, but it doesn't shed hair.
With all the negatives.
It's like,
wow. Take out all the negatives, mix it with the positives. Where we're going with this is we still get a lot of land.
Where we're going is it's changed, eh?
It's changed, but it's also some of the landlords haven't. There's a lot of your just to say older landlords who are just like no to pets, because in their mind they're thinking these big bulky dogs, smelly, loud, gonna piss the neighbors off, destroy the house. And there's a lot of education now, and that's where we've gone to having the videos, having the photos of the animals to sort of help explain and educate owners of these new breeds coming through, that they're not that destructive, I suppose you could say, which is where we're going with it.
Yeah, well, now we ask the people to come in with their pets, and we interview the pets at Novak.
Yeah, can they jump, roll over, fetch? And then we offer them a job, because sometimes they're not well trained.
Imagine that. Can you bring your pet in, we'll suss it out? Yeah, okay, great, very nice, smell, yeah. No, but it's out there, because it's And these guys, like people, and look, I'm one of these. I've got a pet, like these guys with pets, we as pet owners are spending a friggin' fortune on pet stuff. I laugh, like I feed my dog dry food, and I buy a big bag, I think every 3 months. But you know, those little cans can be like $4 or $5. Mate, a human's meal can cost more, and there's 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, whatever. So I don't know. Like this is big budget stuff. If people are willing to spend that much on their pet and the maintenance of their pet, it's pretty important for the people that are hosting accommodation, real estate agents, landlords, even hotels, to start taking this bloody seriously, because this is big budget stuff. What these people will spend on these pets,
it's huge. And that's where landlords, prospective buyers should also be looking at, if they're willing to spend that on the maintenance, upkeep, fucking toys of the animal, then a prospective buyer or a landlord should be looking to possibly invest in some more durable, I don't know, carpet or the style of apartments that will accommodate animals, especially where everybody else is saying no, no, no. We've said it previously, if you can align yourself with a pet-friendly property, you can generally charge more, because there are a lot of people with animals. There are still a lot of owners who don't accommodate for it. So supply and demand, if you've got a house, if you've got an apartment that would be pet-friendly and you're okay with it, because maybe you've put down, instead of on carpet, you've put tile, or instead of putting a cheap carpet that's maybe not that durable, you've invested a little bit more in it because you know it will handle an animal. So I think when people look at people spending,
screwing with people's emotions now. You're really screwing with people. When you look at how much people are invested or investing into their pet, and if you're like on the other end going, nah, you're really screwing with people's emotions. Like this is not about a pet anymore. This is about you upsetting another person, another human, because you're not allowing a pet. This is out of control. So that's why with these pet policies that are coming out with fair trading and stuff like that, there's this companionship rule.
Yeah.
This companionship rule is saying, irrelevant to the pet, if there's a relationship, a companionship with an owner, we're going to consider that.
So
that's you know, where would I be able to 20, 30 years ago to say, look,
my dog's my friend,
my German Shepherd's my companion, and for emotional reasons, I would like him to be considered. People would have laughed at you. Now, no.
So I reckon probably moving forward, who would agree that potentially in the next year, 5 years or 10 years, it may just be pets allowed, and you will not be able to.
It's automatic.
That's by the way it's going to be pets allowed, and you will not be able to basically say no.
I just look at where the society's gone, Michael, and everyone that's watching, Peter, Debbie, Mike Kulma, Lisa.
Lisa's mentioned that. Remember that?
Lisa. Yeah, that's a great case. We'll talk about that in a sec. But mate, as a society, if someone came up to me 20 or 30 years ago and said, "Oi, pick that shit up," I would have went, "What?" And someone said, "Pick that shit up off the ground." I went, "Mate, it's a dog. Leave it alone. You know, I'm not going to pick you. Pick the shit up." But now, if you don't pick the shit up after the dog that's walking, that's the bad thing.
Yeah, you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy. You're worse than the dog.
The animal did a shit. No, horses were doing shits all over the street years ago with a horse and cart, and nobody gave a shit about it. And dogs are doing this little shit, and people are getting up each other because owners aren't picking it up. Look, I'm not saying I'm against it. Probably for it, but if you if you consider that and how that's been a polar change to pick your shit up after your dog, like pets being allowed in every unit block, in every tenancy, a must. It's going that way.
100%. Do you want to give us the details of that case that Lisa had, which was a very similar block, which was probably in the paper that you had? I hadn't seen the article, so. But do you want to go through the bullet point details of that? It was a unit in DY, I believe, wanting to buy with the dog.
Yeah, block DY. Yeah, offer accepted. And then the buyer said, hey, if you can get my dog accepted, I'm in. And they were like, yeah, look, that's no problems. You just got to write to the strata, let them know. We open up the strata notes and there's a no pet policy. And we're like, shit.
I don't think it was hidden down the bottom either. I'm pretty sure it was at the top, larger font, bold. It was pretty, because a lot of blocks have the no pet policy just as default, and then they'll accept it. My understanding is this was a no pet policy and basically no fucking pets. Everyone was against it. There was not a dog lover, a cat lover, not even a fish lover in the building.
Nah. There's hardcore by law, hardcore, and military. And so we're like, okay, well, we'll just write. So the prospective purchaser gets a letter written. We forward it to our owner. Our owner puts the request in, says, look, I've got a prospective purchaser. They've got a dog. We'd like to get a consent. Nah. And I was like, oh shit. So anyway, deal's off. Solicitors turn around and go, look, fair enough. No pets. We tried. And Lisa goes, no fucking way. That's not right.
This buyer wants the property. This buyer is getting the property.
I'm going to make this happen. Yeah. She picks up all the pieces from the deal, tells the lawyers to put everything on ice and says, leave it to me. So she talks to the owner and says to the purchaser, look, seriously, like, this is not right. And this purchaser's like, I know. Lisa's like, what pet have you got? What pet have you got? And it's a unit. It's a 2-bedroom unit with a courtyard. And she said a Ridgeback. Now a Ridgeback, I can't remember the exact name of the breed, but everyone knows Ridgeback. They got that hair that stands up along the whole spine, along the whole back. They are a big friggin' dog. They are a big dog. They're a big mean dog. Alicia's like, oh, okay.
So it's not like a little poodle.
Right. And then
doesn't fit in a handbag.
It's a
car. It's a horse.
It's a monster. It's a horse, but she's got references. And the lady said, look, I do, I'm of that background, South African background, and that's that's their dog. Like, apparently it's a pretty popular dog over there. It's where they were bred, where they originally came from, apparently. She said, so look, it's part of me, it's part of my heritage, I have an affiliation with the dog, it's certainly a companion. Then the lady extends out to had unfortunate circumstances happen to her where she was a bit a bit of a victim. So together with that information, we went back to Strata and said, look, guys, 1, there's the reference from the dog. 2, it's a companion, the dog. 3, you don't want to be knocking back a purchaser that's got rights of companionship and has companionship, has been a victim of certain circumstances. Because if you do, each of the people that are voting against this dog that are sitting on body corporate will individually be accountable. So it's great to be on a strata committee and make a decision as a committee, but let it be known that all you guys will be held accountable for the decision that you're making against this lady, and it's not going to go away. 24 hours later it was approved. 24 later, so it's gone from a vigilant no, the no chance no, to state your case, have a fair claim. It was all the truth. But it was really a dog that I would have thought would have been impossible to be placed. Certainly 10 or 20 years ago, it's acceptable. So it's happening. It's a world now where I think we've got to adjust as real estate agents, as landlords, as tenants, to say, look, guys, just fucking look after the place, return it back the same or better, given normal wear and tear. That's it.
Two things to add there. Jeff made a good comment. It's almost done a reverse between animals and smokers. 30 years ago, you could smoke anywhere. You could anywhere in a house.
Yeah.
And there was no sort of animals. And now it's like, it's like, fuck the smokers, but bring in the animal. Just replacing one thing. So that's a great analogy there.
Jeff, that it's actually an interesting one, Jeff, because honestly, there could be a correlation between those two.
100% in.
Because, habitually, like you got a bit more time because you're not instead of in and out a cigarette, in and out of your mouth, you're stroking your pet.
Yeah. You're stroking. And then with the animals thing, two things I take out of the story and the situation was, I always remind people, strata are governed by owners who are real people. Now, they will like to hide behind, hide behind a fucking computer or an email and just be like, nah, it's so easy. Comfortably. Even default setting, nah. So a good reminder of reminding people that you're a real person, and a scenario of how something will affect you either in that email. So basically with that request, that request was put through twice, like in two formats. One was, can I have an animal? And it's like default, no. And then the other one was, here's a bit about me, personal situation, making us human behind that sort of email. And people were like, okay, one, they're probably scared shitless of their own self, but it also had a bit more of a connection and a bit of history with it. So then it was like, okay, I can relate. Probably two, I reckon half would have related out of fear of getting in trouble, and half would have been like out of, I get it, no problem, compassion. So keep in mind that yes, you're sending an email, but they are real people, real owners at the end of it. So play to that strength. Two, the other thing is,
and look, I just extending on that, and I think that's a really good point. Knocking on the door of the strata managers, of the people on the committee, introducing yourself, and just good old-fashioned rapport building, handshake. How are you? This is who I am. This is what I do. I think that gets you 95% anywhere.
That was my second point.
So I think forgetting your.
Sorry. That's good. We're in the flow. I'll extend on your point. So second point, and then Jeff said, humorize the situation.
You just made up that was your second point. You just made up that was the second point.
Well, you'll never know because you interrupted me. No, but as Jeff says, humorize the situation. Hopefully it's another word I made up. Humorize the situation. Go to the owners. Strata are governed by the owners. If owners complain, strata have to do something basically. But as Mark said, you can't always get a hold of the owners. Owners live overseas. Owners live out of area. It's owned in a trust. You may not be able to get that owner. So then walk yourself down, drive yourself down, and speak to the strata manager, because they can be a key influencer in that decision. Go one level further, because the strata manager you may not be able to get hold of or have a relationship with, but maybe the real estate agent managing a couple of the other properties for another owner goes, I know the strata manager really well, so go meet with the agent. So I think it's very easy to just send an email and do it half-assed and then just say, if it gets approved, it gets approved. But what can add value to well, put it this way, even if you don't even have an animal, but you can get more rent, if you can get an animal approved, then go get it approved for your tenant, get the extra rent. So it will be worth it. Or call Lisa, she says. And she'll get it approved for you.
Cool. But it is, mate. It's not really talked about widely by anybody. It is a massive topic. Life has changed. Like Jeff mentioned, cigarette smoking inside of units virtually stopped, but pets inside a unit has virtually started full freight. And I think it's a big one. And these pets are not what they used to be. These pets are manipulated or genetically changed, or I don't know, or bred,
Enhanced.
or I don't know how they do this or what they enhance. I don't know what these crazy scientists are doing, but they're better
Yeah.
pets. You know, they're more friendly. They don't snap. They don't bark as much. They don't drop hair. They don't smell. You know, not all of them, but
Fuck.
probably
Some
more than
sound better
half
than
of them
some
now
humans we
because
know.
of the way they're bred.
Anywho.
It's true.
All right,
It's true.
anything else you want to add on animal
All right.
mutation? Hopefully that's been interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm just really sad we couldn't talk about $30 suits, which I wanted to talk about today, which you've banned for talking about. But, you know, it was a great topic that I wanted to talk about because one of the guys came in with a $30 suit yesterday from India, and I thought it was a good topic for conversation. But
Yeah, we'll do it.
So anyway, that won't be spoken about, but I got it out. Anything else? What else? 2.99% interest rates, and pets are in.
I'm back.
And have a great day.
After a few days off down in Melbourne, I'm
Well,
back. You
welcome
got the
back
office
from Melbourne.
behind me. It's not Nonna's house. Can't wait to get back into it. So let's sell some shit. Alrighty, guys. Thank you. See you all.
Congrats, guys. Interesting topic.